Well, good evening to all pro wrestling fans from all around the world of all shapes and sizes. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, two things I wanted to talk about. First, I wanted to give my review of WrestleMania 41. Of course, that involves both Night 1 and Night 2. And then I'm going to finish off talking about the big acquisition announcement that WWE acquired Lucha Libre AAA. So, it's quite a good amount of news from that. Pretty surprising. But anyway, let's get started. WrestleMania 41 took place at the Allegiant Stadium, of course, home of the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, no, I didn't go to WrestleMania. I went to WWE World, but I went to a whole bunch of other shows, not WrestleMania. So just there. Don't be mad at me. Anyway, Night 1 was on Saturday, Night 2 was on Sunday, as usual. So, gonna start off with Night 1. And let's get this going. Alright, first match. We had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. As the champion, Gunther defended against this year's winner of the Royal Rumble. Main event, Jey Uso. Okay. Match lasted 16 and a half minutes. Here's my thing. The match, meh. Here's what I don't understand. Now, Jey Uso came into this match 0-3 against Gunther. Lost to him clean and all that. The only times, if you include house shows, that Jey Uso has beaten Gunther is by disqualification. Now, here's what I don't understand. Out of all of that buildup to this, now, I'm not surprised that Jey Uso won. That's, I'm not shocked at that. He did win. He beat Gunther. But he beat him by submission. He hit a couple of Uso splashes after a spear. Put him in a sleeper hold. And he tapped in like 5 seconds. So you mean to tell me all of that buildup, despite, the losses and just getting up to this point, the numerous number of attempts Jey Uso has had, and he beats Gunther by submission, which I'm pretty sure Jey Uso has never won a match by submission. And he submitted Gunther, made Gunther tap out. Yeah, that finish made no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm not mad that Jey Uso won and became the new champ, but that finish made no sense to me. Him winning by submission? Really? That made no sense to me. So, yeah, that was kind of meh for me. But, congratulations to main event Jey Uso on becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. That was a very ridiculous finish. I'm just saying. That was a ridiculous finish. Anyway, let's move on to the next match. Next up. Alright, we had the tag team championships on the line as the champs, the War Raiders, Erik and Ivar, defended against the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. This match was under 10 minutes. It was about 9 minutes, 15 seconds. Can't say I really had any issues so much with this match, but after the New Day got the pin and the victory, which of course Kofi got the pin while Xavier was holding down the leg of, I think it was Erik. What I don't understand is, why did they run off like cowards after they won the match? It's not like they cheated to win. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I didn't really understand. But this will now make the New Day 12-time tag team champions. So, but now they're heels now, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of run they have now that they're heels again. Which, they've been heels before, but they've taken it up a notch now. But yeah, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. So, 2 back-to-back title changes right there. Alrighty. Next up, back to the ladies. Our first non-title match of the show. All right. These ladies have been clamoring at the bits to get at each other, and this was their opportunity. Had a one-on-one showdown between Jade, Cargill, and Naomi. Naomi, who is a heel now and looks better than ever. I actually enjoyed this match. Didn't quite hit the 10-minute mark, but you know what? I liked the action. And Jade Cargill had some pretty nice spots. Catching Naomi off the dive off the turnbuckle into the suplex. Her doing that electric chair transition into a powerbomb was really cool before hitting Jaded on Naomi. I mean, Jade looked good in this match. She actually did good. Her and Naomi, they did good. Yeah, it didn't go over 10 minutes, but you know what? I think they did good. For the time that they had, they did good. So, I really didn't have any problems with this match. I would have thought Naomi would have gotten the victory, but honestly, I don't have any issue with this match. I thought it was a pretty good match with these ladies. So, yeah, I can't really say that I had any complaints. So, all right, let's go to our next match. We got another championship match. This time we have the WWE United States Championship on the line as the champion, L.A. Knight, defended against the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Another good solid match. Definitely, I mean, L.A. Knight got in his offense. I wish this one could have been a little longer, like maybe 12 or 13 minutes. It was only 10 minutes, 40 seconds. But, it was still a pretty solid match. Jacob Fatu looked really strong. And even so did L.A. Knight. And, it was just a matter of time. And the time was WrestleMania 41. Took 2 moonsaults, which was kind of an interesting finish for Jacob Fatu. Would have been nice if he had done the trifecta, each turnbuckle. That would have been cool. But the moonsault action on LA Knight, and then pinning him for the 1, 2, 3, and we have our third title change as Jacob Fatu becomes the new United States champion. So congratulations to him. Hey, I thought it was great. Thought it was great. So kudos to the Samoan werewolf. All right. Let's go to this next matchup. Okay. Now, originally, this was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, but due to injury, Rey Mysterio got replaced by another Rey in the form of Rey Fenix. This match was 7 minutes, 55 seconds long. Honestly, I hated the match. The whole time on commentary, they kept saying Chad Gable. Like, I could have probably counted it at least 15 times they said Chad Gable. So it's like everybody knows El Grande Americano's Chad Gable. And honestly, man, having Rey Fenix lose like that, not being here that long, and also on WrestleMania, just... it's kind of insulting, in all honesty. Not to mention, Chad Gable doesn't need this gimmick. He really doesn't need this gimmick. I mean, he's doing the same tendencies. I mean, instead of thank you, he's doing gracias. It's like, it's the same stuff. It's not really anything unique. You know, like... it didn't work out with Shorty G. I mean, and folks wonder why Chad Gable hasn't been a singles champion yet. And look at how long he's been with the company, y'all. Like, he doesn't need this gimmick. Just let Chad Gable be Chad Gable. That's all I want. He doesn't need this stupid El Grande Americano gimmick. He doesn't need it. And then Rey Fenix taking a loss that early, it's messed up. I mean, yeah, he cheated with the metal pad in his mask, but still, it just sucks. It just really sucks. Anyway, next up, back to the ladies. Oh, let me fix that. There we go. We had the WWE Women's Championship on the line. As the champion, Tiffany Stratton defended against this year's Women's Royal Rumble winner, Charlotte Flair. To be honest, not a big fan of either of these two. But hey, their match was 19 minutes long, so they got a good amount of time. And it was pretty back and forth between these two. And you know something? I gotta say, I was actually surprised at the outcome. But yeah, Tiffany Stratton was able to defeat Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE Women's Championship. She actually beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I was actually pretty surprised. But that's all I can really say. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of either of those two, so I just leave it at that. Okay. And then the main event of night one of WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas came down to this triple threat match between Seth freaking Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Of course, Paul Heyman was in attendance in the corner of CM Punk. I mean, overall, it was a pretty action-packed match. The match went over 32, almost 33 minutes long. Very action-packed. And then leading up to the finish. The finish was interesting. And, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, CM Punk was about to take out Seth Rollins and clean house. Paul Heyman gives him a low blow. Takes out CM Punk. Hands the chair over to Roman Reigns. And now, seems like he's back on the side of the tribal chief. And then as he was getting ready to hit Seth Rollins, he gives Roman a low blow. So Paul Heyman betrays CM Punk and then betrays Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins picks up the pieces, finishes them off. Cover 1, 2, 3. And Seth Rollins wins the main event of night 1. And Paul Heyman has aligned himself with Seth Rollins. And the interesting thing enough, after Raw, now apparently Bron Breakker has aligned himself with Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman has got Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker now. That's wild. That's wild. That is really wild. But yeah, not too big of a surprising finish, but one that made sense. And then also, I'll go ahead and mention this. But the total attendance for night 1 was 61,467. That was for night 1. Okay? Now, let's switch gears to night 2. All right. Let's get into it. First match. And it started off with a bang. We had the triple threat for the Women's World Championship. As the champion, Io Sky defended against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, who won this year's Elimination Chamber. So, I'm going to tell you right now, this was the best match of not only night 2, but of the whole event. Hands down, this was the best match. Went 14 minutes, 25 seconds. All 3 ladies did well. I just couldn't help but notice that the finish for Io was pretty much the exact same type of finish as to when she won the NXT Women's Championship. Y'all notice that? Y'all notice that? Caught in a pin or submission, Io Sky hits the over the moonsault and then steals it. That is literally the same way she won the NXT Women's Championship. So, it just felt like deja vu all over again. But, Io Sky gets the victory, retains the Women's World Championship, and makes history, becomes the first Joshi to win at WrestleMania. Because remember, Kyrie hasn't done it. Asuka hasn't been able to do it. So, congratulations to Io on doing that. And her family was in attendance for this. So, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, Io Sky's still your Women's World Champion. Good stuff. Best match of the whole entire show. All right. Let's go to our next match. Here we go. Next up, we had a Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I mean, to keep it real, the match was 13 minutes, 55 seconds, and honestly, nothing really special happened that really stood out to me in this match, you know what I mean? It just felt like another street fight, to keep it real with you. Yeah, it just felt like another street fight. But Drew McIntyre was able to pick up the victory. He hit Damian with a claymore with his head in the corner up against the chair. So, pretty brutal finish. But, hey, got the job done. But yeah, Drew McIntyre gets the win at WrestleMania. Alrighty. Next match. This was quite an interesting one. We had a fatal four-way for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. As the champion, Bron Breakker defended against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominik Mysterio. I couldn't help but notice that Dom was getting cheered throughout this match. Definitely an action-packed match, and even there were moments where Dom and Finn Balor were working together. But gotta give a shout out to Dominik Mysterio. Dude had cheers. He had a lot of cheering. So I don't know if supposedly he might end up eventually turning face. I don't know. But some way or another, either him or Finn, probably Finn, is probably going to get kicked out of the Judgment Day. Because couldn't help but notice Dirty Dom, as Finn was taking it to, I think he was taking it to Penta. Dirty Dom took advantage, hit a frog splash, 619 frog splash, and ended up pinning Finn Balor for the 1-2-3. So Bron Breakker still stays strong because he didn't get pinned. But Dom pins Finn and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. So I definitely think that's another seed planted that's going to really erupt between him and Finn Balor. But, wow. Dominik Mysterio, new Intercontinental Champion. I wouldn't have imagined, but that's what happened. And the match was 10.5 minutes long. Now, I don't have a graphic for this next one. So, just a FYI. Randy Orton came out because he wanted a WrestleMania match. It was originally supposed to be him versus Kevin Owens. That didn't end up happening because the neck injury to Kevin Owens that he needs to get surgery for that will take him out for a year, if not 2. So Randy Orton came out. He wants an opponent, laid out an open challenge. That open challenge was answered by none other than the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. I have to say, that's pretty big for TNA, considering they got the world champion in a match at WrestleMania. Now, I'll go ahead and say it. The match was only 3 minutes, 10 seconds long. Pretty much borderline squash. But Randy Orton hit the RKO, took out Joe Hendry, pinned him for the 1-2-3. Randy Orton with the victory. Now, of course, he showed sportsmanship afterwards and then gave him one more RKO for good measure. Because, that's Randy Orton for you. Now, I know a lot of folks are going to say Joe Hendry got buried. I disagree. And here's why. Was the match too short? Yes. That's really the only issue. But y'all got to keep something in mind, especially with this partnership. One, let's not forget, this dude had a match at WrestleMania. TNA World Champion had a match at WrestleMania. Secondly, what did y'all think was going to happen? He went up against Randy Orton. Did y'all honestly think Joe Hendry was going to beat Randy Orton? Come on now. Was the match too short? Sure. But y'all honestly did not think that he was going to beat Randy Orton. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. So, I don't know why a whole lot of folks are getting all bent out of shape. It's a one-off. Not to mention, it was an open challenge that wasn't originally what the match was supposed to be. So, I really don't think it was that big of a deal in a negative way towards Joe Hendry. No titles are on the line. And it's not like he lost to a nobody. He lost to Randy Orton. I'm just saying. But yes, the match was too short. I do agree with that. Okay. Next up. I wasn't a fan of this, but whatever. Singles match between AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Meh. I'm surprised it lasted almost 18 minutes. That was a big shock. I did not think it would have lasted that long. But honestly, I wasn't really invested in this match. And of course, Logan Paul had to cheat. Had to have a interference distraction. He had to cheat in order to win. So I'm really not surprised. But unfortunately, he was able to defeat AJ Styles and get the victory. Now, of course, Karrion Kross was trying to help, but he got decked for it. I mean, he stopped the dude from using the brass knuckles, but, you know, the distraction of AJ just taking out Karrion Kross ended up backfiring on him. So, it sucks. Really sucks. And it's like, with this sort of thing, folks still want AJ Styles to go and have one more match at TNA. And I'm just like, why? Why? What's the point of doing all that? Especially when he can't even win the big matches where he signed at. I mean, I don't know why folks are still pitching a fit about, get AJ Styles on TNA for one more match. Get him back in TNA. I'm like, the dude is a 2-time Grand Slam champion in TNA. There's really no point. There's no point. If anything, the only thing that could happen is he gets inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, which I don't even know if they're still going to do that. But that's it. He doesn't need one more match in TNA. So, that's my whole thing. Anyway, moving on to the next match, which I was kind of surprised this was actually the semi-main event. So, okay, you had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Now, this was originally supposed to be the Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending against the team of Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, but Bayley got written off. Just got taken out of the match and was written off storyline-wise, and you know, a lot of folks are still really pitching a fit about this. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. It was getting a little noisy. Anyway, so the replacement for Bayley ended up being a returning Becky Lynch. And honestly, wasn't surprised. I figured with them still having this match and Lyra needed a partner, it was pretty obvious that it was going to be Becky Lynch. Sure enough, Becky Lynch shows up, and her and Lyra Valkyria team up, work together, and they were able to dethrone the tag team champions as Becky Lynch had hit the manhandle slam on Liv Morgan and pinned her for the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria are your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the match was terrible, but the match was unnecessary. Like, here's what I don't get. One, y'all did Bayley dirty. They did Bayley dirty. Secondly, what I don't understand is WWE, y'all had the opportunity to have both women's mid-card championships defended on WrestleMania for the first time since those titles have been created. You had the opportunity to showcase those on WrestleMania, a 2-night event. And that's why I keep saying, with WrestleMania and these 2-night events, there's no excuse why every single main roster title shouldn't be defended. There should be no excuse or reason why every main roster title shouldn't be defended. And here you have 2 that don't get defended, despite this event being a 2-night event. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And the funny thing is, they turned around and had a rematch on Raw, and they lost the titles, and Becky turned on Lyra. Just, it's Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez all over again, almost. Just, so dumb. Really, really dumb. Anyway. And then the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania 41. This was for the Undisputed WWE Championship. As the champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defended against this year's Men's Elimination Chamber winner, John Cena. As far as the match went over 21 minutes long, honestly, I wasn't really that into the match. But here's what I don't understand. Cody Rhodes got hit by 3 attitude adjustments. 1 avalanche attitude adjustment, and was locked in an STF. And wasn't enough to put away Cody Rhodes. And it came down to interference by Travis Scott, a low blow and a belt shot that put away Cody Rhodes. That match and ending was trash. How the heck are you going to have somebody get hit by 4 AAs and still kick out? Like, it just is so annoying to see these finishers get protected like this on profile matches. Or not protected, but just broken. Like, finishers should be finishers for a reason. I mean, how often do you see somebody kick out of the Rainmaker or the One-Wing Angel? You know what I mean? You know, over the history, how often did you see somebody kick out of the Tombstone Piledriver or the Atomic Leg Drop? You know, it's just... And then when it happens multiple times like that in one match, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's... I will never understand that. I mean, I could understand if every once in a blue moon you do something that normally ends it. Maybe you kick out once. But I just really don't like how that went. Because it just doesn't make any sense to me with how they do finishers. And I guess... I mean, I get the whole idea of it being during high-profile matches, but I mean, come on. 4 attitude adjustments and an STF didn't put away Cody? That makes no sense to me. Not only that, where was The Rock? This whole build-up with the Cena heel turn and all that, and you don't even have The Rock show up. But you have Travis Scott. Makes no sense for me. All that build-up, and The Rock doesn't even make an appearance at WrestleMania 41. Make it make sense. But yeah, and that's why I am glad I did not attend this WrestleMania in person. Because I would have felt like I had gotten robbed. Total attendance for night 2 was 63,226. So, those are the numbers for both nights separately. But, yeah, I spent my time at WWE World and at WrestleCon. I didn't watch WrestleMania until like a day before the day that I left to come back home. So, just saying. But, yeah, WrestleMania 41, nah. But, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad I'm back. Anyway, let me know what y'all's thoughts were on both nights. Which did you think was the better night? And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Later.